Today I will explain the orthographic drawing of the stapler. Now last time what did we talk about? The materials that you need to buy. So stapler was one of the materials that you need to get, one of the objects. I told you that you can buy any shape that you like, so it doesn't have to be this one. Every student will have a different object, okay? Also, I explained the other materials that you need to get, the graph paper, tracing paper, all of these things. So whatever here drawing I will explain today, the orthographic drawing of this, you will first, just to remind you, to draw it on the graph paper using pencil, and then it will be traced on the tracing paper using the French curves, the drafting pen, and in a very clean way, okay? So, now let us start with the actual drawing. So we will draw scale 1 to 1, scale 1 to 1. This means what measurements we have here, we will put on the paper. Because this is a small object and it will fit into the A3 paper, so no need to scale it down. Okay, so scale 1 to 1. Now after you finish the drawing, which I will explain in a minute, you will have to have a box, because now we have scale, we have units, okay? So you need to put this information, don't forget, okay? Now to remind you, the orthographic drawing, which is also called a multi-view drawing. It is used in design all of the time, as I explained in the past, when you did your model. It is when you design something, you need to show all its details from all the views. Like when we look at it from this view, we see some details here. Certain lines, certain shapes. When we look at it from here, we see other details. When we look at it here, we see other details. Every view shows us some extra details. So, if I'm the designer of this object, and I want to draw it for someone to understand me, I need to draw it from all the views, showing all the details, and of course using the correct measurements. So in orthographic drawing we always have correct measurements, to scale drawings, correct scale, and all the details shown as multi-views. Now this is about an object, but if you talk about an interior, interiors are usually drawn, it doesn't have to be all views, like front, top, side, back view, bottom view, no. Like if you draw an interior, you don't have a bottom view, for example. You have a top view, which is a plan view. Sometimes you have a side view that you can draw. It depends on the requirements of the project. But because this is a handheld object, even from the bottom view, we have details, so we have to draw it. So sometimes the complete set is drawn like front, top, bottom, two side views, back view, and sometimes not all of them. Okay, in orthographic drawing. Sometimes, even when you draw objects, sometimes you need just 3 views. Like, for example, the front, for example, the top, and one of the side views. Now, in our situation here with the stapler, we will draw front view. Front view, for example, if this is the front view, the top view, the bottom view, this side view, and this side view. But we will not draw the back view. Why? Because this object, if you imagine it's cut in half, this is symmetrical to this. So if we draw the front like this, the back view will have the same details. So no need to draw it. No need to repeat the drawing. So we will not draw a back view. Now, any stapler, when you see it, if this is the front, the back will be the same. Okay, nothing new. So that's why we will not draw the back view. But we have front, top, bottom, 2 side views, okay? Now, we will draw with the third angle projection, as we did with the previous model. The third angle projection have a certain rules of rotation. Some of you did not apply it correctly. So make sure this time you apply. So, for example, we choose the front view. I said before, a front view can be anything. This can be the front, this can be the front, this can be the front, but how you rotate, it will be different. So, if this is our front view, how we rotate according to third angle rotation. We put the pivot point here, and the top view will be drawn like this on the top. Now, the bottom view will be rotated like this and will be placed on the bottom. The side views. This side view will be from here, rotated like this, drawn like this. The other side view, like this. Okay? Now, if I selected this as the front view, what will happen? Again, pivot point here. Then the top view will be drawn like this on the top. The bottom view like this on the bottom. Then the side view, this side view will be like this. This side view will be like this, okay? But it's not logical because in this case you will have to draw a back view because we need this, okay? So it's logical to choose this as the front. So if you choose this as the front, you have this side view, you have this side view, and then no need for the back view. This is the top, this is the bottom. Okay. So the rotation is very important. Some of you rotate it wrongly. For example, if this is my front, I cannot draw the top view. For example, if this is the top, I cannot draw it like this. And I mentioned importantly that all the views have to be aligned. Okay, I will explain this again. Aligned. Some of you do not apply alignment. That means if you draw the front here, the bottom, instead of being here, is here or over there. So when I put straight lines down, it's not aligned. You see? The start point, end point, end point. The side views has to be also aligned. Some of you put one here, one there, a mess. The point with the alignment is so that we can see, we can track every detail from where it started and where it's located. So to check if it's correct, our views. You cannot put anywhere you like on the drawing to draw the views. They have to be aligned, okay? Very important rules. Now, I advise you to choose this as a front view or like this. It's the same, doesn't matter. But not like this or like this. This is not the front view. Also for another reason. Because when we rotate it, like this you will have to draw the top, like this the bottom, and it will be too long, the drawing. And remember, we are drawing on A3 Fabriano landscape, so you don't have a lot of space, okay? So it's not logical to choose this as the front. Because of the rotation will be, and then you will have two side views which are the same, then you will have to draw also a back view, so not logical. Choose this, like this, or like this to be the front. Okay, now in orthographic drawing, how do we start? Before you draw anything, any detail, we need to draw boxes. Do you see these boxes here that I draw? These boxes must be on the paper before anything else. What is this box? So, first of all, for the front view, the box, you will choose the maximum height, the maximum length. So maximum, okay? So here we have a height, here we have a height, but this is not the maximum height. The highest point is this, okay? So the highest point, from here to here, from here to here. And you draw a box. Then you put lines down, dotted lines, to have the box for the bottom view. So the bottom view box, again, maximum, whatever here, measurement, and maximum from here, length and height, okay? And you will draw this box. Then again, for the side views, for example, this view, don't make the mistake to draw me a box here which is short of this view. No, we need the entire view, which is from here, maximum, okay, maximum height, which is the same height as the front view. It's the same object, remember, rotated. So it doesn't matter how I rotate it, it still be the same height. Okay, if you draw it from here, this height, if I rotate it from here, it will still be this height. We will see part of this object, okay? So the side views will be the same height. So this view from here, this view from here. You place the boxes, then the top view. The top view will be rotated like this, okay, from the top. And again, maximum length, maximum height. Remember that some of the staplers, when you look at them, this is smaller than this. So when you draw the top view, don't just take this measurement. You have to have this from here, the maximum, okay? In reality, this view and this view will be the same box size, and this will have the same box size, okay? When you place the boxes, remember what I told you before? This space, this space, this space, this space must be equal. So, you need to organize the paper like this. So, now when you start drawing the details, you are sure that at least you have the maximum sizes, you know the spaces are correct, you know how you organize it on the paper, it's perfect. So, not to start drawing details and details and details, and then, oh my God, I don't have space for the top view. It's touching the border, okay? So, you need to organize everything with boxes, make sure they're aligned, make sure the spaces are equal, everything perfect. Now, we can start drawing the object. And we will start drawing the front view, okay? The front view. I explained before that the front view is the most important because once I have this ready, I can start taking lines out and find the details in the other views. So, if I have a mistake here, I will have mistakes everywhere. Okay? Now, this object, the orthographic drawing of this object is more difficult than when you did the cubes. Because the cubes are vertical lines, horizontal lines only, and you used to draw the cubes, and it was very simple. Now this have what? Have angles, inclined angles, it has curves from everywhere, radiuses, small details. Like if you look even from the spaces here, you will see small details that you need to measure and be careful about. So a lot of small details, which can be 0.5 millimeter, 1 millimeter thicknesses, and the curves, and the inclined angles. This is what makes it generally more difficult than what you used to do. But the same rules. Now, I will explain today additional things here about when you have a radius, when you have inclined angles, how to measure those, okay, and on the drawing. But it's the same rules, so it's like a reminder what I already explained before. If you already applied the rules before, now it's very easy to understand, okay? Okay. Now, so we will start with the front view. I already drew the front view, okay, so it's ready here. Make sure it's correct. Now, how do you start measuring this? How do you measure this? Like these small details. It will not be 100% accurate. It will not be, but it has to be very highly accurate. So when we see the drawing, when we look at the object, we know this is the object, okay? Not some kind of other device. So it needs to be over 95% accurate. Now, you measure how? For example, if you have here several situations. For example, an object like this, it's starting a curve like this, a straight line, then it turns into a straight line. Here we have straight line, then it turns into another straight line. Okay. Now, if I want to draw this view from here of this object, how do I draw it? Now, I don't measure this curve. No. You measure as a straight line. So, from this view, I will see the distance from here to here. So, I measure straight line, okay? So, a ruler will be placed from here, a ruler from here, and for this view, I need this line, this measurement, because from here, that's all I will see. So, when you look at it from here, this object, if I look at it from here, I will not see a curve. I will see it straight, just a measurement from here to here. So, for example, it could look like this. So, if this is here aligned, this aligned and this aligned, of course, what you will see is this. So, all of this curve is this distance only. Yes, it is a curve, it's going like this backwards, but you don't see it as an orthographic. You just copy the view. When you copy the view, you copy the distance. Okay, what will happen if I draw from here? this object from here, what will happen? It will look like this, for example. Of course, it has a thickness. It's not important, the thickness now. It's important how we translate this. So this here, I don't measure this line. I measure from here to here and from here to here. So for this view, I need what? From here to here. So at this point, we will put a line. Now, this line from here to here, we will not see it completely from this view. We will see it from here to here only. So this line is from here to here, just, okay? So whether it's a curve or it's a straight line going at an angle, you just see what's left of it when you take a straight line from here, straight line from here. This is what you measure. If I want to draw it, for example, from the top, again, I will see something of this type. So, I will see this starting point here, then, look, this line is a straight line. Then suddenly at this point, it changes to a curve. So at this point, I will see a line, and then until the end, what I will see from here to here only, this distance I will see. So, this is also important to understand. When we have a change of line, like this line suddenly changed into this line. When we draw it, we have to put a line that shows this point of transition. So, if I want to draw this one as a top, for example, what will happen? So this object as a top view. So, for example, start from here and end here, okay? Aligned. But this is here a straight line, then it transitions. So this transition point, we need to put a line to show it, that suddenly something transitions. Now, whether this is straight or a curve, at this view, we don't care about it, because we will see it from the front view, whether it's straight or a curve. This one here again, from the top, it will look like straight. But when we look at it here, we understand, okay, it's a curve. But these lines, very important. So that transition point, when we have always, there is a transition point between one line changing to another. So here, this is straight, then it transitions into a radius. It starts here and here, for example. Then it transitions into a straight line. So if I want to draw this from the top, if I want to draw this as a top view, it will look, for example, like this. So the starting here, but here is where the radius finishes. So we have to put a line here. The rest continue. So the radiuses you measure the same as this. So you have a straight line from here, a straight line from here. If you want to draw the top view, this is the distance you need. If you want to draw the side view, this is the distance you need. So this is the here important part about curves, about radiuses, and about inclined angles. Okay. So let us see on this object how it will look like. Now we have our front view completed. Of course, when you draw this front view, you will start at the bottom, not from here and there, and okay. So you will start to draw the bottom part. You will add the next part to the next part. You measure the distances. You measure as carefully as you can. You open this object to see the thicknesses and to try to measure as accurate as you can. Okay. Now for the side view, I already know a lot of information. So the thickness of this part, I already know it, okay? I don't need to measure. I just take it from here. Okay? Now, is this part straight or is it at an angle? This is what I need to look. So this is what I'm drawing here, this view, okay? So is this part straight or is it at an angle? Now I have to look at this and draw it correctly. If it's at an angle, I draw it at an angle. If it's straight, we draw it straight. Now, the next part on top, which is this here, you take straight line from here. Okay? So it must be located in this area. So it will be located in this area. But from where does it start? From here, when we look at it, we know it's located. Okay, we take straight lines, we know. But this measurement, how much is it? We need to measure and place. Now, is this straight or angle or have a curve? Okay, we need to observe that. And if it has a radius, we will put it. The next object, this object here, a very, very thin, like 1 millimeter object. We take a line from it and we see where it's located in this area. It must be aligned. Now be careful when you start drawing, because remember this object is symmetrical. So if we put a line through, what we have here, we have here. Again, here, if we put a line through, what we have here, we have here. So you need to put the midline. Do you see this midline here, midline here, midline here, and midline here? It needs to be on your paper. Because not to make a mistake, to draw one side different than the other. Even small changes will make the drawing wrong. Okay? So what you draw from here must be the same from here. Okay. Now the next details. Here we have this object ending here, so we take a straight line and see where it's located in this area. So it must start in this line, but what is its measurement from this view, this here? What is its measurement? You measure and you place it where it should be. Of course it needs to start here and end here. So this is the visible part of this, okay? Any other details you see from here, openings that we cannot see from the side, you will add, of course, any other details. Now, the next object is this here. We take a straight line. Okay, we already have it, which is this line. So, it should start here, but what is the measurement? Because this is bigger than this. Okay, so you need to measure carefully. So this, for example, is smaller. So we need to measure it and then place it in the correct location. So it starts from here and it ends here. Okay? Now, if you notice, this is here an inclined angle, just like we had here or here. Okay? So this distance will be which distance? So we measure it from here to here. This line from here to here is from here to here. Now, whether this is straight or whether it has a curve, this is not our concern at this stage, okay? Because we can see it here in this view. So, from here to here is from here to here the distance of this line. Now, first we draw straight, but then we look. Okay, here we have a radius, actually. We have a radius. So if here we have a radius, we have a start point, end point. The end point is on this line. The start point is, for example, here. So we need to put a line. So this is going straight, then the radius start and ends somewhere. So we need to put a double line. Now we have here an additional difficulty. We have a radius from here, a radius from here, and a radius from here. So here we also have a radius, and here we have a radius from the sides, which is part of this. So here we need to also put lines down, and from here a line down. But what will happen now when we combine this with this radius? So this will disappear, and this will become a radius here, and this will become a radius, and this become radius, this radius. So we have from here radius, from here and from the top. Combined, okay, they will become like this. Now, if you look very carefully at your object, you will see all of these things I explained, they are here. But on the drawing, they must be indicated. So if you have a curve, you have a start line, end line. So start line, end line, start line, end line. So you cannot just leave it one edge. I will explain a little bit on the cubes just in a minute after I finish the view. Now, this is here a space, okay? The space here. Okay, what can we see from here, okay? Inside, you will, when you look at the object, for example, this one, I can see the spring. So we need to draw it. Whatever spring here we have, we need to put it. Now what else we can see? We can see this object here, part of it, which is inclined, but from this view we will see it as a straight line. So we need to open this. For example, if I'm drawing these two objects, we need to measure their heights, their thicknesses, and exactly where are they located. Are they touching this object or not touching? Okay? Are they coming, reaching the floor of the object or not? So whatever it is, I will put here. So if this thickness is 1 millimeter, half millimeter, you put it as it is. And where does it start? Does it start at the floor? And where does it end? So sometimes this object ends here, but we cannot see it. So you just end it wherever the view ends. At this point, for example, here, this is the end point. So if you take a line, it should basically end correctly. So here, for example, this line, if I take it, it shows me that it ends here, in fact. So what happened with these two objects? They are actually hidden by another object that come on top. This line here hides them. So, for example, there is another object here on top that hides these objects. For example, okay, like this. So if we have this situation, we just draw what we see. What is behind, we don't care about. Now, if we have other details, such as screws on the sides, usually they have thicknesses. Here we don't have, but I still put it to explain this. So if we have such a situation, we take a line from here, a line from here, see where it's located here, what is its thickness, we will put it. Can we see something from this side or not? We will put. If we have any other details here that we can see from the back, there is a lot of details and you need to be careful. Anything at an angle, we can see part of it. Everything must be drawn. So, now, so this is, for example, an example of the side view of what an object of this shape could look like. So, now we will draw another of the views to show. So this is here the front view again. This side view is perfectly aligned from here. This one will be here, the top will be here, the bottom will be here. So the bottom view is very simple in this situation. It's like a rectangle, but it has a few details here and here. It has radiuses. And please notice, here, for example, this is straight. But here we have a slight curve. Okay? So, we will put the lines down. The starting point of this object is here, of course. The end point is this corner. So we will put this down. So it means that this here, whatever here radius, it's starting from here. But all of this is actually have a curvature. So it goes to the midpoint, this, and continues like this. Now, the rest is straight, in our case. The back is straight. Here we have a curve. Be careful with the sizes of these radiuses. Some of them are very small. Some of them can be very big. Look at this object, for example. This is like a complete, like half circle. Okay? So when you open it, you will see it. If you put a line, it's like a half circle. This one, no. It's straight, but it has small radiuses on the side. And this one, the bottom part also. So here we have a small curve, small radiuses from the sides. The midline shows us everything is symmetrical. Now, these here circles, details, you need to draw them, okay? And anytime you have a circle, you must have the midline that passes through here and show me another line that passes through the center. Then, whatever other details here, other circles, you have the same thing, okay? Lines, any line you see in the material, lines you also draw, Okay, whatever lines you have, you draw. If there are corners, corners, if straight, if they have angles, if they have curves, everything you draw as it is here, okay? Okay. Now, before I continue, let me just cover here on the cubes an example. Again, if you cannot understand the radius or this kind of stuff, to show it on a simple cube. So we have here 3 cubes. As you can see, these are straight edges, okay? Now, what if we want to turn the edge into a radius? How will it look? So, radius have start point, end point, always. Will you please stop talking? So, start point, end point. We decide the size of the radius. If you already have an object, then you need to see what is its sizes. But if I'm free to choose, for example, start, end point here, and I put a radius now, okay? And this one here the same. So I will put a radius, okay, a line down, okay, so here and here, start point, end point. Now, we cannot leave this edge. So when I draw over there 2 lines, it means what? We are removing the edge, okay? And we are putting instead 2 lines to show. Here it starts, here it ends. Here it starts, here it ends. The curve, okay? Okay. What if we have, not like this situation, but like this? For example, this one is small and this one is large. The radius, because sometimes you have a small radius that become large as it goes. So here, small, start point, end point, for example here, and here, start point, end point. So this radius will be really big. So how can we connect these? We remove the edge, the edge, and we connect each of these points together. So this is how it will look like as a drawing, okay? So when we draw the orthographic, the same thing. We have always 2 lines. It depends. If the start point is the same like the end, so the radius from the start is the same like the end radius, the lines will just be straight, 2 straight lines. If they are different, then they will be at an angle and different. Okay. Now, what if we have another situation, like here? So we have from here a radius. So let me remove this one now and put it back to the corner, just so we can explain. So let's put the corner back. So we have radius from here, and here. So when they combine, what will they look like? So we have a radius from here and a radius from here. Okay, great. 2 lines down, this one with this one. Okay. What if we have now a radius also on this side? Not only here, but here and here. So this line here, we will have also here a radius, and it should combine. So how, when they touch each other, what will happen here, okay? So all of this will disappear, actually. All of these edges will disappear, and this here will become radius. Now, if we have also a radius from this side, the same one, so this and this line, for example, this corner will disappear, and it will become like this. So now we have from here a radius, sorry, we have to also do this here. So from here radius, from here radius, from here radius. And we can also put a radius from here, in this case. What will happen to this line? This will become like this. So now we have a similar situation what we have there. Look at it from this view. From this view, we have radius from here, radius from here, radius from here. This is straight. So here, this is straight. We have radius here, radius here, radius here. So that's why it looks that way. But this is in perspective. And this can, of course, be long, okay, or inclined at an angle. It doesn't matter. This is just for explanation. Okay? So, this is here what is meant when you have radiuses. So the start point, end point, start point, end point, start point, end point. So on your object, just be careful about these things. So the one line, which is the edge, disappears and becomes two lines, showing the start and end point. Okay, now let us continue here. What view shall we draw now? The top view? Okay, what will happen if we draw the top view? Because here we have angle again, okay? So we take the lines up. Now look, we will see part of this object here, because this is here a space. You see the space? This is a free space, but we will see part of this. So it starts really here. This angle, where is it located? You take it up, so it's located in here somewhere. Then, this we will not see, because it's hidden underneath. So we will not see it. We will see this corner, which is here, this line, and then we will see this object. So the start point of this object is this line. The end point where? Well, we have here a curve, okay? So we have here start point. Sorry. So the start point of this radius and the end point of this radius. So start, end here. Okay, it's the start and the end. So we will have two lines here. Now, I'm putting these lines up to show me the details. Where are the details going to be? Later I will decide what is their measurement from here. Do they have curves and so on. Okay? Now, all of this line from here to here, basically, all of this, we will see it from this line here. Okay? This is the measurement of all of this curve. Okay? So, from here to here. Now, let me finish this here measurements so we can continue if we have any details here at the back. The bottom part is bigger than this part. So, it will look similar to this because it's the same object, okay? If you look at it from the bottom, this curve, or from the top, this curve, sorry, like this, okay? So from the bottom, here, this curve, and then when you go to the top, it's still the same curve, so it will look very exactly like this one here, okay? So the start point here, this is the radius, and then we have this curve here. Now, from here, we will start seeing this object here, this line, which is from here to here, from here to here. We already put it, but what is its size? This one. What is its size? We measure, we place. So if we measure it from here to here, and then it goes all the way back. Now, it has radiuses, okay, don't forget. So here, this line and this line, as we said, will be the start and end point of this radius. We have also radius from here, which is this part here. So from here and here, we have to have it also. So this here and this here. Now, here when they combine, what happens in the combination? This becomes like this. This gets removed. So this is basically what we will see. So this part from the top will be like this, with the curves. But it's very easy to take, when you take the points up, at least you know their location, and just add, do you have a curve or is it straight? If it's straight, just one line. Curve means two lines. Now, all of this line will be all of this, which is from here to here, this line. Now, we have a problem here. Because, okay, when we look at this object here, here we also have a curve. So this this curve from here till the back, and from here till the back. And here they will combine. They will combine, so this one will become like this one like this will disappear. This is now the completed shape, because we have a curve from here. We have a curve from here, from here, from here, and from here. So this is the combined shape, so we will see this part like this. We have another problem. this area. Because from the front view, we see it closed, but when we do it from the top, we see it open. So there is details here. From where this opening? From this point it starts, okay? From this point. If you don't know, you measure. So from this point, it starts an opening here. So we have here a certain thickness, and here a certain thickness, and this is here open, okay? What we see in the opening, from this view you draw what we see, we draw here, whatever details, whatever, okay? Whatever is visible from this opening, if you have such, not all of them have, like look at this is closed, but we have here some details. So, depends, every design is different. So, if you have an opening, you draw it. From this view, it's not visible. So from every view, you will have certain things that are visible. You need to draw them. Okay. So this is the major points. Do we have to draw this view? Who wants me to draw this view as well? Nobody? Okay, great. More easy for me. More easy. If it's very clear what's going on here, okay. Then expect correct drawings. Again, do you need me to draw more? Okay, fantastic. Fantastic. So, okay. Great news for me. So whatever your object is, it will have a specific measurement. You will draw scale 1 to 1, the real one, okay? And now, the next step, after you have all the views, what is the next step? Okay? It's not finished. Some of you, when you did the model, you completed it like this, and that's it. No, there is measurements now to put. Measurements. What are the rules of the measurements? Okay? From the small to the large. Okay? So if I want to show, for example, from here to here, the size, we will put a line. Okay? Then, if I want to show another measurement, we cannot go from this to a smaller one. No, it needs to get bigger in order. Okay? Then I, for example, show from here to here. Another line. What did I say before? You delete in the middle, you put the number. If what? If the space is too small, you can have a measurement. Okay? If the space is too small, for example, from here to here, you want to show. Then, if this space here is too small for a number, you can have like this situation. From here and from here, and then you can put the number in the middle. Okay? If you have very small spaces. If there is space, you put the number here. In the worst situation, you can also put the number next to it, the line. It's also correct. So, you continue. The next, okay, the total height of the object. So from the small to the large, delete in the middle, put the number, whatever here it is, okay, for example, okay? The numbers, what? The real numbers, okay? Another thing, mistake that you always do, some of you, when you have a line, okay? Like for example, measurement line, this is a measurement line, and I have a line from here to here, and I'm putting my triangle here and here. This edge, this corner of this triangle must touch the line, not above it or below, like this. For example, put here the line and put the triangle like this. Where is this? What's this here, okay? It needs to touch the line. Remember this, because these points, these details is what moves your marks. These details. Also, in this exercise from now on, when you draw the triangle, the triangle. Okay? This distance from here to here, and this distance from here to here. This is x, this is 2x distance. So this is 2 times this distance. Don't draw it like this. No. Okay? Why? Because this one being longer than this side, visually it's more comfortable, more correct. It's directional. This is not directional. Okay? So this you draw it in this way. This is x distance, this is 2x. Not freehand, by ruler. Okay? By ruler, everything. So all of these triangles everywhere, we will have a lot of measurements this time because so many details, okay? So you need to draw it very patiently, very accurate. Okay. So, what did I say before in the past when we talked about the model? You can have measurements everywhere. Like, for example, here I can have some measurements, then I can put here, up here measurements, here I can have measurements, from this side, so whatever you need, you put. However, try to stay away from the writing. So, for example, I want to show from here to here the distance. Instead of putting the measurement line here next to the writing, we can put it up here. So we can take here the lines up and put it here. Okay? Whatever it is, okay? So, you have the same line you can put here, you can put here, you can put here, you can put here. But here is writing. So stay away from the writing. So choose a place where there is no writing. If I want to show this distance, okay, I can either put it here, or I can put it in this space, or I can put it here. So everywhere you can use the space as long as it is organized the way it should, as long as these spaces are the same. Remember what we said before. So if you leave half centimeter, this should be half, this should be half. Okay? Or 1 centimeter, 1. And we need to see really a lot of measurements because there are so many details. Just organize them, make sure they don't touch the borders, make sure they don't touch the writing, then it's going to be a correct situation. These writings, remember, they should also be aligned, okay? Again, some of you did not apply the rules. So for example, this distance from here to here, the same like this one, the same like this, the same. Everything you do in one place, you do in the other place is the same. You want to ignore these rules, your marks will come down because this is the rule of the orthographic. You cannot change it. You cannot draw a messy drawing and expect me to understand it or to put you a good mark. If you mess up the views, wrong rotations, or you place this over there, this over here, what do you expect? Because I want to put lines out and see every detail. Did you draw it correctly or not? If you don't align the views, I will not know, and I will put it as a wrong. So please apply the rules. It's like every method has its own rules. If we say this has to be done like this, it has a specific reason to clarify the drawing, to see every detail, what is its location is, what is its measurement. Every method, as you see, have its specific rules. If you ignore the rules, it means you don't know the method. Okay? Now, of course, I already explained, after you finish your paper, this will be drawn, copied from the graph paper onto the butter paper with pen, with drafting pens. Last class, I explained how you should use it. Be careful with the French curves, okay? Anywhere you have a curve, any curves, use the French curves. If it's a radius, okay, radiuses are part of circles. So if we look at this radius, it's actually part of a circle, okay? So from here to here, you can use these rulers where they have different circles of different sizes and use to draw the radiuses. Okay. Any question? Anything not clear? Anyone need more explanation about the rotation? Anything Ask me now, okay? And now, after I finish the explanation, as usual, put up the papers, ask me, show me your drawings, continue work until the end of the class.